It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Welcome back to Confidence in Bloom, the podcast for women choosing to stay determined, not distracted, as they lead their lives with clarity, courage, and confidence. Today's guest is a true embodiment of joy in motion, Connie Kobylko. Connie is a Joy Facilitator, life celebrant, published author, and award-winning entrepreneur who helps people reconnect with what truly lights them up. Through her signature work, Ignite Your Light, and her Joy Vision experiences, Connie gently guides people through life's transitions, helping them rediscover purpose, honor their story, and step into what's next with gratitude and intention. Connie reminds us that joy isn't something we chase, it's something we remember. And in a world full of noise and distraction, her work invites us to pause, play, and live our dreams on purpose. Oh, Connie, welcome to Confidence in Bloom. I'm so happy to have you here.
It's so good to be here. Oh my goodness, Tina, I was counting sleeps.
I love that. I love that because, well, we booked this quite a while back, right? And then it's like, the time, it seems like, oh, it's so far away. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's the day. I'm so excited, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas, counting sleeps to Christmas. There you go.
I love that feeling. Yeah. That's being a child at heart, right? It's like a child in a toy store. Yeah, I love that. Okay. So, Connie, you described yourself as a joy facilitator. I would like for you to tell me what that really means to you. Like, what does joy really mean to you? And how did you make this like your life's work?
That's such a beautiful question. And I thank you so much for that. A joy facilitator is not something that you see on a long list of jobs, right?
Yeah.
No, you don't see it. In fact, I've yet to see it. And I'm really excited about that because then that makes something that I do so unique. And yet we do what I do every day, truth be told. So a joy facilitator, what is that? Who is that? I guide men and women, primarily women though, to connect back to that child inside of us, that little girl inside that has lots of dreams and aspirations. I guide us as adults back to finding small moments every day that just make us feel good. And it could be something that just takes us out of a busy schedule. So for instance, when you're driving and you hear a song, sometimes that takes you back to maybe a moment in time, right? Or you remember just jamming out to that as a little girl, right? With your pretend microphone, whatever that might be. That really is joy. That's what I do is I guide us back to the heart of who we are, and we are joy. We came into this world a bundle of joy, and I think that we've just gotten a little disconnected from that. So I lead a variety of workshops, I write articles, I do a lot of public speaking on stages, connecting us back to finding our joy. And really and truly, it is within us.
I love that. Okay, so I'm going to tell you when you said the little girl holding her microphone, like, banging it out on the microphone. I remember one time, and this was not very long ago, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, someone asked me, Tina, where's the little girl inside you? And I was like, what? Right? Like, I was like, what are you talking about? And she said, well, where's the little girl that used to have fun? And I was like, I don't know. Like, she's gone. She's lost. And she said, think back in a time where as a little girl, you were doing something like, putting on your Fisher-Price record and you were singing away to, Mary Had a Little Lamb. And I was like, oh my God, that was 1,000 years ago, right? Like that, that's not fun to me anymore. But now, as you were saying that, it reminded me that it's not about being 3 or 4 years old anymore, or however old I was when I had that Fisher Price record. It's more about letting go of all the stress and the weight on our shoulders, right? And just being able to be free with whatever's going to come out.
Let's just have fun. We're too
Yeah.
serious. And I hold another role really dear to my heart, and that is being a life celebrant. And so I walk alongside families who have lost loved ones. And I hear the most incredible stories of people in their journey in life. But Tina, I also hear of the regrets of how people wanted to do something, but they wait for someday to happen. And a health journey may have been encountered and it diminished them, and now they're not here to experience that, right? Too often we put our dreams on a shelf. And so my role as a Joy Facilitator is to bring us back to playing more, to having dreams. We've stopped dreaming. And so I just want to share with you and our audience. When we were kids, do you remember the Sears Christmas Wish Book or the Canadian Tire catalogs? Or for those that are, a little bit more youthful than I am now, walking into a Toys R Us store and just knowing that, oh my goodness, this treasure chest can be all mine, right? Did
Yeah.
you ever, Tina, get a Christmas wish book and say, oh, I don't deserve that? No.
No, I used to mark everything off, right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
when I
All
had
the
my own kids,
pages.
yeah, when I had my own kids, I got them each their own book.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I would have done that as a mom.
Right? I did that because I was like, I remember the joy, right? I used to
Yes.
pick up my Christmas wish list. And then I always did, if I had a house on my own, how would I decorate it? Right. So I would go through and I would circle all the furniture and, the curtains, all the things, because I loved it. It was such a beautiful book.
I love it. I know. So I did the same thing. I circled everything because I wanted everything. Why not? We were such dreamers. And
Right.
so we still are those people. We truly are. That little kid inside of us just has perhaps some bigger dreams. Or, for instance, if you're like me, I always wanted to be a figure skater. You'll see me break out into the weirdest, wackiest figure skating pose anywhere. It could be in my kitchen, but truth be told, it sometimes happens when I'm out shopping and I just get this feeling as though, oh, I can. And I stretch my arms out and my legs are out there. And I think, I'm a figure skater. And you know what? My dreaming isn't done yet. One day, I bet you I'm going to take figure skating lessons. And if I can just advance to not hanging on to the boards at the rink, that would be a good thing, right? So
That
that
is so awesome. I love that. And you know what? That whole phrase, you're never too old, is coming up so strong right now, right? Because I mean, you're not old, right? There is absolutely no reason why you can't go get figure skating lessons, and you don't even have to pay anyone. Just go buy a pair of figure skates, right? And go get on a piece of ice.
I went and bought the skates, so that's my first step,
There
right?
you
Because
go.
because I want all of us to keep dreaming. So maybe some people don't have the dreams that they had as kids. Maybe you've maybe outgrown that and that's okay. But what are your grown-up dreams? Do you have any travel aspirations? Is there a destination that if someone just gave you every ounce of money in the whole world and you could have anything you wanted, what would be your top three dreams? What would unthinkable dreams? What would you do? What would you take? And yeah, without any limits, everybody has dreams. They go, seriously? So if I were to gift you a pair of tickets for a flight anywhere around the world, I bet you would
There we
think of a
go.
destination, right? I bet
Yeah.
you would think of a destination, right? So we all have a magic wand. We just forgot that we have it, and we have forgotten to tap into our dreams. And so I want everyone to know that as a Joy Facilitator, I'm here to connect you back to your dreams, because when we get excited about something to look forward to, just like me counting sleeps to having this podcast with you, it creates this energy, this ripple, and it creates excitement. Your days look brighter, right? Um, and so visioning to me is really important. And I wanted to choose the topic vision without limits, rewriting goals, because we're not the same people that we were yesterday. So I'm not the same woman I was yesterday. And the woman I am today will be different tomorrow because we're always growing and evolving, becoming our next best selves. We're always writing the next chapters of our life. But how do we want that to look? And so for me, to stay connected to dreams and visions and desires, I do vision boards. I actually even do a vision journal, for instance, that has pictures of the things that I want to do, the places that I want to see, the person that I want to grow into. So I envision me in different scenarios in my life. And that gives me something to be excited about. And it's really important that we don't set a time limit either. Yes, we can have all these dreams and desires, but I really believe that they will come when we're meant to receive them, right?
Right.
Whether
Yes.
it's universal, divine energy, whatever the belief is for anybody, all good things happen in time. And I think we've heard that saying before.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
all good things really can't happen unless you give something to get your brain and your heart attached to, right?
Yeah. If you don't know what to dream for, you don't know what to work for. Yeah.
Well, yeah, so we need to steer our minds and our hearts down a certain path. And so vision boards are really important to me. In fact, I created, Tina, I have to be honest, across from my computer right now, I have a vision wall because I don't stop at one board. I keep creating panels and
Oh,
I keep
wow.
adding to it. And so my vision wall isn't just the things that I want in my life. We as women are such givers, right? Too often we put ourselves last because we're so giving to everybody else first. And I decided that I needed to amplify my energy a little bit more on my dreams and desires. But what really fuels me is when I can give to others. And so on my vision wall, I actually have experiences there that I'd love to share with family and friends. So an example would be having one of those outdoor luxury picnics. I host a supper club every month here in my home, and we have different themes. But wouldn't it be amazing to envision everybody outside in a beautiful park setting, and we have this luxury picnic that's catered for, and we've got all the beautiful pampas grass and this
Oh,
lovely little tent, right? I can just feel it. And that's what I want to share with your audience too, is when we feel how good that is to be in that dream, in that vision, we've already planted the seed and created the ripples to make that happen. So
absolutely.
I can see my family and friends, and we're having our glass of wine, and it's being catered, and we're laughing and just having this incredible experience. So my vision wall, or it can be anybody's vision board or your vision journal, can have things for other people. I have a travel trailer out there, and I envisioned that for my daughter and son-in-law and my new grandchild, my little granddaughter, who is now officially 2 weeks old. And I have this image of a travel trailer and it's nestled in the mountains. And there's a lawn chair outside of that travel trailer. I'm sitting there and playing with my little granddaughter as her mom and dad are sleeping. And I've got my camping coffee right next to me. And we've got this beautiful mountain air. And I'm embracing this beautiful experience that I'm having with my family.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. It makes me so excited. Like you've got me like you've got the adrenaline flowing, right? Like and my brain is going, okay, well what's next, right? Oh wow, I love that. I want to know though, Connie, when like I mean lots of women in our age group, and other women too, but I, relate more with the women that are in our age group. How do you reconnect them with like if they're feeling stuck, or they're just tired or they're disconnected because many of us are, how do you help like reconnect them to the joy other than, like just think back to when you were, a 6-year-old girl?
That's such a
I
beautiful
mean,
question. Yeah.
yeah, like the vision board, I mean, I can see it helping, but if you're stuck feeling like you're going nowhere, like a vision board won't get you there.
No, and it doesn't. That it's an important piece to have. The vision board is more so a reminder for us to play, just like we were when we colored in coloring books and we were crafting in school, gluing and whatever, lick and stick, whatever that was, right? Playing with Play-Doh. So that's the play. We need to have play. But in my role as a Joy Facilitator, I actually have a 4-week and 8-week program guiding us back to the heart of who we are. So I teach the Joy method. What I do is help remove the layers because we as women have different titles. We wear lots of hats and often we wear a lot of masks. So we have a lot of layers and sometimes we feel too comfortable in those layers. And what I do step by step is get us connected to the heart of who we are. So let's take off some of those layers, as many as we can, that feel comfortable and still feel safe, right? And I start getting us thinking about what are the things that are really important to us. Because when we connect to our values, the heart of who we are, those are all the things that have carried us all through life. Our values, the things that are important to us. Being respected, but treating others with respect, that kind and honesty factor, right? But also, too, what are the things that make us feel good? And sometimes we have forgotten what makes us feel good.
Yeah.
We have this thing of shoulds. We know we should be maybe having that evening bath. We know that we maybe should be journaling or taking time just for us, maybe going and having a spa or maybe just going for a massage or even a 5-minute walk outside. There's all these shoulds. But when we take away that should component and change that, reframe our minds to and I get to, all of a sudden we start seeing more value in us and we start inviting more things into our world. So my series actually gets us reframing our thoughts, shifting how we think, increasing our deserve level, because we do deserve a lot. And the
Yeah.
things we give to others, we need to hold grace and give grace to us and reflect that back to us too.
Yeah. And I love how you said that. I've caught myself saying to other women, like mostly women, but even to my own kids, where, they'll say, they might not say it directly, but, they're basically saying, I don't deserve this. Right. But I catch myself saying that every single person on this earth deserves the same thing. Right. We are all here from the same, like we're all here for the same thing, right? We all have different purposes once we're here, but we all came to to live that purpose, right? And so that means that we are all deserving of whatever is there for us to take, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I connect us back to our inner power, set intentions. And the other thing too is we connect with feelings. Too often we discard how we feel, or we as women try to push it down, right? So I get us connecting back to how do we feel as we're moving through our day? And are we feeling unstuck in some areas? And if we are, yay, it's good that we're identifying them, right? So the joy method actually gets you noticing what your thoughts and feelings are. And if they're heavy, if they're feeling stuck, well, identify them, honor them. Often our feelings have us also feeling stuck in our body. So is there a tension in our body, right? Recognizing where does that discomfort live? And you and I talked earlier about contrast. Sometimes we need the shitty in our lives, right? To appreciate gratitude.
Yeah.
I call it contrast. Um, because we need sometimes the heavy stuff, that contrast in our lives to make us realize there's actually some really good stuff going on at the same time too. So creating an awareness as to where we are in life, what are we feeling? Where is that resting in our bodies? And then identifying that, honoring it, because we need to honor all of our emotions, not just some of them, not just the good stuff. Honor that because that brought us here today and to remember and recognize that we don't have to stay here. So, what do we want to feel? And then I create a vision. I do joy visioning. So I do guided meditations where we actually move you past that stuck and move you forward to what feels good.
Oh,
The
wow.
visioning, how does that feel? So joyful meditation and that visioning is really important. That's part of my program. So that you're actually seeing yourself in this lighter you. How does that feel? Connecting to the feelings. Because when our head and our mind feel this new energy, it wants more of it. Especially
Right. And it gives you something like it, once you're able to bring them to that light and joyous feeling, it also gives you something to look forward to, right? Like it's like, oh, when that crappy contrast comes back, right? Then it's like, but remember, I can feel that way because I did in Connie's workshop, I did feel that. That means I know how to get there,
right. I
right?
move to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's 7 steps to the joy method, and no matter what's going on in your day, whether you've had an argument with someone, you can quickly go through the joy method, those 7 steps, and just say, okay, this is how I'm feeling. Oh, I feel it right here in my shoulders or wherever that may rest in your body. Or it might even just be a clenched jaw where, oh, not happy about this. But okay, honor that. How would you like this situation to look? And just take a moment to pause. And just a moment to pause, practicing that mindfulness is what can move us through our day. That's actually, I call it joy in motion. People think that joy has to be something that's really elevated and amplified. Joy is just moments when we feel lighter,
Yeah.
right? When we feel that we're in control. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the whole joy in motion, that's like really perfect because I was told once emotions are feelings that move,
It's
right?
energy movement. Yeah.
Right. And so, like that whole joy in motion, it's not like a steady feeling. It's not a steady, like, this is joy. Joy is like, it's the energy around that you're feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
living in harmony, having that ease and flow versus the highs and the lows, right? Those
Yeah.
are hard, but just having that ease and flow, that's what we were designed to live and experience through life. And now we all know in reality, it's not always like that. But when you have the tools, when I can teach the foundation of how to get that back quicker, so that it's not highs and lows, that it's just little elevations, little drops, right? And then you come
Right.
through harmony.
I
Yeah.
love that. I really love that. Now, obviously your daily work, you're working with simple pleasures, every like things that happen all the time. But as the average person, I mean, they don't see that, right? We don't see that. We kind of talked about that in the we have to feel the shitty before we can feel the joy. Why do you think that happens? Like, why do we stop noticing, and how do you like sort of put it in our heads to start noticing them again? How do you do that?
You actually have to train yourself because we have so many distractions nowadays. Our phones, for one, can consume a whole lot of our lives, right? The scrolling, all the social media, connecting with people in so many different ways. We actually need to set up a routine and train ourselves to finding the good around us, or just even having moments to breathe and go, oh, this is my time. Honoring ourselves is so important, and we stopped realizing that a long time ago, is that we give so much to other people that we're exhausted by the time it comes to us. And most women are that way, right? Because we're the nurturers, the caregivers, we're the doers. We're so much in the doing that we're not in the being, and we need to be present to ourselves and not only to everybody else. And that's why I said we need to give ourselves the same grace that we give to other people. We're so lenient with other people and say, yeah, no problem, go do it. But we need to do that to us. And it comes with creating a routine or a ritual. I wasn't always this way. I was always high vibing on energy that I was going 150 million miles in a minute. I don't know how I did that, but I did. And yet going to bed absolutely exhausted and yet still having all those thoughts in my mind swirling of my to-dos the next day. They were my, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. I'd like to just share one simple little practice to help start creating some ease and flow in people's lives is before you go to bed at night, have a little notebook or a journal, a little pocketbook, whatever that might be. And if you can write down 5 things that made you feel good. And if you can't think of 5 off the top, I'm going to use the 5 senses as an example. What was something you saw today that caught your attention, that took you out of the land of busy? And it could be something that was happening as you were driving by and you go, oh, hey, that was kind of cool. Or maybe you saw some kids playing, whatever that might be, something you saw. Write it down. What was something that you heard that put a smile on your face? Could have been a song, maybe kids laughing, and you go, oh my God, I remember that, right? What was something that you smelled? And so earlier today, I caught a whiff of some fresh baking as I was going past the Italian bakery. And it just reminded me of being a little girl, and my mom used to bake homemade cinnamon buns and bread. And it just took me back to moments in time. Then with your taste, what was something that you tasted that was savory, that made you feel good? Or what words were expressed with your mouth, either you or through somebody else that made you feel good, right? So the 5 senses. And not only just writing down that moment, you can actually take it a step further and how did that feel? So when I heard some kind words today, how did that make me feel? Again, connecting to the feelings. When you take, and this takes maybe 5 minutes at the end of the day, that's your gratitude journal right there. And what you're doing is planting the seeds for your head and your heart to start working through as you sleep in your subconscious so that when you wake up in the morning, you're actually going to feel lighter and brighter. Start by reading again those 5 things. And then if there's something that you thought of, add to it and then continue with your day.
And then, yeah, and then that sets your brain
Oh,
up for
okay.
noticing it the next day. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I love that. And how easy is that?
it just takes a few minutes, but it
Yeah.
takes, and there's this saying, it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. It really does. So for instance, a little extra that you can do in the morning is when you wake up, read them, set an intention for the day. And it could be something as simple as today is a great day. We don't have to know what the outcome is, just today is a great day. And just by writing that down, you're already setting the intention of bringing great things into your day.
Right.
You're going to have 5 more amazing things to write at the end of the day. And so that's opening your heart to receive gratitude, but you're also then looking, right? By using the 5 senses, I've now created little seeds in each of you to start looking, oh, what was something I saw today that made me feel good? What was something that I heard, right? So planting the seeds. And if you do that for 21 days, no word of a lie, you'll already be experiencing a lot of other things coming into your world. And that starts the foundation because it
I love
doesn't
that.
right?
Yeah, no, I really like that. I think that that's really good. I'm not really good at journaling. Like I have like 12 journals in my night table. Like I've tried it, right? Like I've tried it. I thought, maybe this one's not pretty enough or like there's so many different things that could be the cause of why I don't want to do it. And I really haven't figured out why I don't like doing it, but I don't, right? But when I hear things like this, it gets me kind of a little inspired, right? Because there's
Right?
always something, always. It doesn't matter how little, right? It doesn't have to be the big things. And it's, part of the whole celebrations, right? Like it doesn't have to be the big things. Like if you're celebrating the fact that you emptied the dishwasher today, celebrate it.
Yes,
That's
write
okay.
that down. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's an accomplishment, right? Yeah,
Right. I mean,
I
for
get
some
it.
people, it's not a big deal, right? But for some people, especially women, the women in my, that I coach, they're struggling with their daily routines. They're not just struggling with finding a job or finding happy. They're struggling like just getting out of bed,
Yes,
right?
that's exactly it.
Yeah. And so, when you do something that you haven't done, regularly for a while, celebrate it. You
Hmm.
don't have to be, just do a little, 5-minute dance or 10-second
Yeah,
dance.
yeah.
Whatever it's
Or
going
even just
to be.
pat yourself on the shoulder and say, I
Yeah,
did it,
I
right?
did it. Like, good for you. Yeah. And don't be afraid, right? Don't be ashamed to talk to yourself.
Oh, I talk to myself all the time. In
Yeah.
fact, I'll have my brother come into the house. He'd go, who are you talking to? Oh, that was just me. Okay,
I know my kids laugh
okay,
at me all the time because
partners.
I talk to the cat, right? And I talked to the dog before she passed away, right? Like, and they would be like,
Oh,
seriously, mom, like, it's a dog. And I'm like, yeah, but she hears me
yeah,
and
yeah,
she reacts to me. Like, she's happy for me, right? You guys
exactly.
don't care.
Exactly. Okay, so that's another element of joy. If ever you don't know what joy is supposed to look like, if anybody has a dog, the way they come and greet you, they're so excited to see you. That's joy in motion,
Yeah.
right? They don't
And
come
unconditional love. Yeah.
exactly unconditional love. Cats, they love it when, you can just give them that moment of attention and then they start purring. That's joy, right?
Yeah.
And it could be just connecting to just feeling them purr. Emptying out the dishwasher. I can't tell you how many times as a young mom, if I could get the dishwasher emptied in, oh, once in a day, that would be a miracle, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes I would set myself a little timer. How fast can I do this? And make it fun.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, I put the kitchen timer on the stove and go, okay, can I empty the dishwasher in 3 minutes? Okay, on your mark, get set, go. See how
Yeah.
fast I can.
And I,
Just
I make
it's
my
fun,
tea.
right?
Yeah, you're right. I make my tea. I'm like, I wonder if my tea will be ready before the dishwasher will be emptied, right?
Oh
Right?
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Right?
because I hate emptying the dishwasher. I love loading it because I love clearing off the counter.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
emptying the dishwasher, it's a pain, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. I don't know why it is. It's a convenience, right? We should be happy, but it's a pain in the neck.
Okay. So then find ways to make that fun,
Yeah,
right?
and that's kind of what I do now, right? Because I mean, yeah, I don't really care to do it.
So
Yeah.
and then reframing. So I call them get tos. I get to pay my bills. I am so grateful that I actually have bills to pay.
Yeah, so
Because if
that's
I
a
have
whole,
to, right?
yes.
Because that meant that I have a roof over my head, I've had heat, water, right?
And you have the money to pay for it,
Yeah,
right?
get to empty the dishwasher because look at the beautiful meals that were provided. And this is, right, an
Yeah.
example.
Like the whole family ate for the entire day and
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. I,
What
I
did
get that. Yeah.
those plates created experiences, family moments, right?
Yeah.
Shared stories, right? Even if you're just eating on the fly, they still were moments in your day. Wow, that's
Yes.
what I'm thankful for.
I love that. I love that. So tell me, I want to go back to the whole vision without limits. When
Mhm.
someone is feeling like their dreams have shrunk over time, I mean, I think a lot of us can say that, when we're in our 20s, we have these big dreams. I'm going to do so much. And then all of a sudden you're 30 and those dreams are starting to slowly disappear. How do you help? How do you help us rewrite those goals, in a way that feels expansive and alive?
Mm. Everybody has dreams and visions in different ways. Some people like to have the visuals, like me, for instance. I like the pictures, so the vision boards are a really great way for me to anchor. But much like you, Tina, I didn't journal. I had all these beautiful journals and go, oh, I can't put anything. I always thought you had to write all of your, like, spill your heart out into those journals. And a journal can be anything that you want it to be. And that's why I just planted the little seed of collecting beautiful moments using the five senses, right? Just write down some things that make you feel good. That is such a beautiful way to start training your brain into finding something good. Your journal could just even be a list of the things that you'd like to accomplish in the next 6 months. And it gives you something to focus to. So for some people, writing things down or creating a file on your phone, right? We all have a notes section in our phones, right? And it could just be writing something down. What would I like to experience in the next month? Whether it's something career oriented, whether it's something related to health and wellness. It could be something that you want to accomplish as far as travel. Could be a financial goal as well, too. Just write it down because writing it down is so important. Keeping it here in our head is one thing, but we need to connect an energy to it. We need to connect some emotions to it. That's why the feelings is so important. And
Yeah.
when we write something down and have something to focus and revisit on, it creates an energy. So, how do we start creating visions without having any limits? It's taking the moment to just start somewhere. It could be one thing that you write down, one thing that you talk about, share it with somebody. Maybe you're the vocal type where you just want to share with someone that you care about, someone that you know will help support you, and just say, I really want to do this. I'd like to do it within the next month, but anytime soon would be great. And just
Yeah.
someone can keep you accountable and say, so how's that coming? Having the dream, but creating an action step is the next part, right? And so writing your goals down is really important. But if you're not going to create the next step, then how does it create an energy to it? So if someone has a travel goal, the next step would be call a travel agent or Google some itineraries of what you would like to do when you're there, right? Creating that next step. Because I can
Yeah.
have a whole vision board, but if I don't have something attached to it, it just stays a vision. It's a dream,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
doesn't.
When
Yeah.
I decide I want to go away, I book time off my calendar.
Yeah.
Right? I book it on my calendar and I'm like, Tina will be in, like I just came back from Phoenix and I'm like, that's the name of my event on the calendar. Tina will be in Phoenix. Right.
Oh, love
So
it.
yeah. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was like, okay, so in my mind, I was going away. That meant number one, I had to like make sure that I was ready for the trip.
Yeah.
And I had to have enough work before and after so that I didn't have to squeeze too much of it in my time away. Right.
Yes.
Right. And I mean,
Yeah.
of course, it's going to work different for everyone. Right. But when you set a goal like that, sometimes the next step, it's a smaller step, but it's something to get you motivated. Because I mean, we could say, yeah, I'm going to Italy next year. Right. Everybody can say that. But
Yeah.
if you don't actually take that next step, the third step won't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when do you want to be in Italy next year? What month
Yeah.
would you like to be in? Okay, so
Yeah.
pick the month, then
Yeah.
pick the date, right?
Yeah.
And just giving ourselves permission to dream, to create these visions, to have goals. We need to set some time. So maybe say in the morning while someone's having a cup of coffee or their morning tea, just write down a few things that you'd like to have experienced in the next month, in this next 6 months, in this next year. We get to be the authors of our life story. So, how do you want your next chapters to look, right?
Yeah, I love that. That's actually a really great idea. Like well, I don't know if we all do, but we have somewhat of a to-do list, right? Like we know the stuff that we have to
Yeah,
get done,
yeah,
right? Why can't that be like an experience list? Like I want to go to this restaurant this month, or I want to go to a movie, or I want to go to a play or something, right? You don't
I
have to
get to.
make
Oh,
it.
I
Yeah, I
get to.
get to. Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, too often we put our dreams and visions, goals, whatever you want to call them, we put them on a shelf called someday,
Yes.
right? We put them on a calendar date called someday, but my calendar starts with Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, not someday.
Yeah,
No,
some
my
days not.
calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why are we putting our dreams, our aspirations, the things that we really want to experience in life, why are we putting them on a date that doesn't even exist on a calendar?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to bring them to life. So we need to put them somewhere that we can see them and make them happen. So call it your I get to list, right?
Love
Instead of,
it.
yeah, why wait? Because we do have to-do lists, call them I get tos, but let's create a dreams list. Yeah, I get to dream and experience this and write them down.
I love it.
And it could be on all aspects of life, career, finance, family, health and wellness, right? Whatever that may be.
Yeah. Yeah. The the life wheel, the wheel of life, right?
Yeah,
Like that's,
the wheel
if
of
you
life.
look at all the wheels or all the pies on the wheel, then you know
Yeah.
how to set your goal. I know that I want to ask you just a few more questions before we close here, but the first one, can you share a moment from your own life, whether personal or work, where choosing joy required courage and focus and not just positivity?
Mm. Well, I can think of so many moments. Life, life has brought me so many experiences, Tina. Um, I've had a lot of hardships, but I'll have to say the one that stands out most recently is being violently assaulted and ending up with a brain injury.
I'm so
And
sorry to.
no, and not being able to find your words. They were somewhere in my head, but yet they didn't know how to come out. And so life wasn't joyful. And this is how I had to learn the importance of trying to create a practice, something to anchor to, something that would give me my superpowers back and know that I can be more than I am. That today is a great day, finding gratitude in the little things. When someone would say something to me, my daughter, for instance, it would take me a while to be able to receive her message in my head, try to think of the words to say back, and then say them. And for some people, they're looking at me, why? Like I'm just talking to you and you're staring at me blank. And it's because it would take me so long to formulate what I needed to say. Because the words didn't come out automatically. So for me to know that, yay, I said a sentence or something would just instantly flow and I could have a conversation. That was moments of gratitude for me, like, I did it. Those are celebrations. And we all have moments to celebrate every day. I focused on what I wanted my outcome to be. That's how I became actually a joy facilitator. That's how joy visioning has become the signature part of anybody who takes my joy sessions with me. My program, I have two programs called Ignite Your Light, and the other is called Your Light Within. I needed to ignite my own light to know that I could be better than I am at this present moment. And I had to look at all the obstacles in my day, not being able to brush my teeth, couldn't figure that out. Holding this thing in my hand going, I have no clue what I'm supposed to do with you, but yet I have a little post-it note that says brush your teeth. Okay, I need help, right? But so whatever obstacles I had in my day, they were my opportunities to grow. And life still is not perfect for me, and I don't want it to be perfect because I want me to have some obstacles in my day to know that I still have areas to continue to grow. We all have challenges. I call it the contrast. We all have challenges in our day. They are what teach us to be better versions of ourselves, to grow past them, to be the next person we are meant to be tomorrow. So through setting rituals every day, doing the same thing every day, repetition has brought me to where I am today. Me envisioning who I wanted to be. And so I would close my eyes and I would do a meditation and envision myself being this vibrant person, this vibrant woman who is celebrating every moment of every day, living her most vibrant life. I was experiencing in my vision the people around me, celebrating with me, enjoying life with me, being able to do long distance walks, going to the mountains, having dinners gathered around my table, knowing that one day I'm going to be able to cook a big meal again and it's going to come natural. I won't have to have all these helpers in my life. And here I am. Yes, walking, talking, living joyfully, living with gratitude in my heart, being a dreamer and a visioner, knowing that that little girl inside of me, she wasn't meant to stop playing. She was meant to keep on dreaming, right? That's why I want us to connect to that little person inside of us because we didn't stop dreaming when we looked at those catalogs, right? When birthdays were coming, we knew what we wanted. We asked for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that person is still inside of us. That child.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love that.
So we still have dreams. Ask for them. Put it out there. Share with whoever is important to you and say, I want this in my life. I want you to be a part of it if that's important to you too, right? Include them. Get them excited, right? If there's
Uh,
a holiday, yeah, share it with whoever you want to have on this vacation. We're doing this. Yes, we
yeah.
are.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's funny that you just answered my last question. If our listeners gave themselves permission to live with vision and without limits, what would you hope that they would remember about joy as they step into their next chapter?
Oh, what? Oh, I wish for everyone just to just dream, be fun, be silly. Um, whether it's going out and just buying that drumstick ice cream cone that is not 25 cents anymore, that's $3 and whatever.
Oh my God, it's so ridiculous.
It is. But you know what? Have those moments that take you back in time because life has always been fun and playful. We just forgot. So do whatever your big self says is fun and playful. Whether it's blowing bubbles, I leave snow angels on people's front lawns, right? Why not? Right? And I want them to go outside and go, what the heck? Who did that? Yeah, right. It was fun, takes me in the moment. I would invite all of our listeners today to remember that there is a light inside of all of us. It has never, ever gone away. We just let other things take us away from that heart of who we are. Yeah.
I love that. Connie, thank you so much for reminding us that joy doesn't need to be earned, rushed, or perfected. And it's something that we can return to over and over again. We don't have to forget it. We don't have to lose it. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. We are joy. Just remember, we came into this world a bundle of joy. We are it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been such a joy.
Yeah. If today's conversation resonated with you, I invite you to pause and ask yourself, where have I been distracted from my joy? And what would it look like to come back home to it? This is Confidence in Bloom. This is what Confidence in Bloom is all about: choosing aligned vision, determined action, and a life that feels meaningful from the inside out. Be sure to connect with Connie and explore her work. And as always, remember, you don't need permission to live your dreams, just the willingness to begin. Until next time, keep blooming.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.